Welcome to the Applications and Interviews module. In this module, we will discuss how job applications and interviews are a great way to show off your professionalism because professionalism equals winning by getting the job. Completed applications tell an employer a lot about you. So filling it out correctly and completely is extremely important when applying for a job. Do not leave blank spaces. Treat your application like a test. Even a wrong answer is given some credit on a test, and the same is true for an application. Read the directions before you start filling in information. Giving the wrong information is a surefire indication that you cannot follow directions. Employers are looking for employees that can follow and complete tasks when given instructions, oral or written. Treat your application like a test. The right answer in the wrong blank is not given any credit on a test, and neither in an application. Make sure your application is neat and easy to read. If the employer cannot read your handwriting, he or she will assume you either aren't serious or aren't capable. Practice your handwriting if it's sloppy. Work history on an application that has gaps or indicates jumping from job to job does give a negative impression. Be prepared to resolve these questions in an interview if you get to have one. Be honest. Some applications are laid out and information is requested in such a way that employers can quickly tell if you are answering their questions dishonestly. Everyone has made mistakes. Everyone. The big difference is in how you respond to the mistake. In employment, it is crucial that employees can learn from their mistakes. Employers know employees will make wrong choices or have an error in judgment. What they must know is that an employee will take responsibility for it and learn how to not repeat it. If you have a negative past, you can quickly and easily overcome it by showing a potential employer the positive outcome that resulted in your negative decision or mistake in judgment. Never, never, never blame your past mistakes on others. If you say, "I was fired from that job because my boss didn't like me," you are essentially saying to your potential employer, "If I make a mistake, I'm going to blame it on you." A potential employer needs to hear, "I was fired from that job because I did whatever. I learned not to do it again," whatever it was, "and I now do things differently so that it will not happen again." That is all he or she needs to hear, period. Taking responsibility for what happens, regardless of why or how, leaves a huge positive impression on a potential employer. So make sure to take responsibility for past negative choices or mistakes and learn to take responsibility by saying "I." Once you have completed the job application process, hopefully you will get your interview. Now, here's some tips about how to show up for an interview. If you are unfamiliar with the interview location, do a test run the day before. That way you can make sure that you know where you are going. This will make you less nervous on interview day, and it will prevent you from arriving late. Arrive 10 minutes before your interview is supposed to start. Arriving 10 minutes early is perfect. Getting there any earlier can make the interviewer feel rushed or even annoyed that you are sitting there for 30 minutes prior to your appointed time. The interviewer scheduled you for a specific time for a reason. Be respectful of the interviewer's time and get there early, but not too early, and please don't get there late. Arriving in jeans and a t-shirt says, "I'm not really serious about getting this job." Dress in a suit that is a solid color, clean, unwrinkled, and modest. You may feel you are overdressed, but the interviewer will not think so and will see it as you are putting your best foot forward. and putting forth your very best effort. The impression is that you might put forth your very best effort on the job as well. Bring a folder or portfolio into the interview location that has your resume and other job-related documents. And that is all you need is a portfolio. You do not need to have other things like a big bag on your shoulder or a cell phone. That is inappropriate. You should never have a cell phone with you during an interview. It is disrespectful of an interviewer's time for you to not be focused or carrying something that is distracting with you. Make sure you treat everyone that you come into contact with courteously and professionally. Do not complain to the receptionist if the interviewer runs late. Most receptionists will report to an interviewer your behavior, good or bad. Make sure that it is good. Now, make note of these tips, and if you can, think of some other tips or ideas that we might want to add to this list and jot those down right now because you will use them in this module's activity. This is just a brief summarized list of the tips that we've went over, and hopefully you have thought of some ideas on your own and written those down to use in an activity later. Remember, in an application and interview process, that your main goal is to be sure that you present yourself professionally and in such a way that will let the interviewer or the employer know that you would make a great employee.